I'm your Slip'em 23, you're joining me for Royal Masquerade Chapter 2. The Queen has just been slayed and a mysterious assassin, and your sister lay unconscious at your feet. Annalisa, please wake up, please!
She's never going to wake up again, and soon neither will you.
What did you do to my sister? The assassin ignores you and reaches for something behind his back, just as Vasco appears in the doorway behind you.
Get away from her, guards! This way!
The assassin quickly turns and makes his escape through a tall window as guards rush into the room.
The Queen is dead! Guards, secure the palace!
Hi, guy from days of old. He went that way. Go through the window just moments ago. The guards nods as thanks as Vasco rushes to Annalisa's side.
Miss Annalisa, what have they done to you?
She was like this when I came in. She doesn't seem to have any wounds, but she doesn't wake up.
And we must move quickly. The future of House Rosario is at stake.
The future of the House Rosario? Vasco, what are you talking about?
Miss Annalisa's plans were not popular among some of the court. I fear they will use this grim opportunity to move against your family.
I don't understand. What should we do?
First, we must see to Miss Annalisa's safety. Then the estate must be prepared for the Rosario debut.
Vasco, this is no time to think of parties.
I know that it seems strange, and I beg the madam's eternal forgiveness, but the noble debut is scheduled for tomorrow night. If we cancel, Annalisa's petition to join court will be rejected.
But Annalisa was the head of the house. Without her, who can stand for the Rosarios?
Who, indeed.
Why are you looking at me so? Surely you can't be implying...
Miss Annalisa trusts you, I trust you, and the house needs you.
But I was adopted. I wasn't born for...
Birthright and blood be damned! This is not about lineage, this is about family. Pardon me, I forget myself.
No, Vasco, you're right. House Rosario is not of noble blood, and yet my sister fought for years to see that changed. If she could fight to change our stars, then I can too. With Vasco's help, you swiftly move Annalisa's body to your carriage and make your way back to the Rosario estate. Bells of mourning chime in the distance as Cordonia weeps for its fallen queen. The following evening, you stand above Annalisa, who is yet to awake from her mysterious slumber. Sister, I don't know if you can hear me, but I swear to you, whoever did this will pay dearly. You've never hurt anyone for as long as I've known you. For that, to be rewarded with this, I will not rest until the responsible party is in irons, whipped and laid bare in the dungeons. The clock strikes 8, and you suddenly are reminded of the late hour. Vasco rushes into the room.
I'm sorry to disturb you, but...
I know, it's time. Is everything ready? He coughs slightly in his hand and gestures towards your body. You look down and realize that you're still wearing the scribe uniform that you slept in last night. Oh, Vasco, how can I expect to impress every noble in Cordonia when I can't even prepare something to wear? He smiles warmly and removes his hands from his back, revealing the jade mirror. He gently places it in your hands.
The Rosario charm is yours now, by right. And as this is...
Vasco fishes into the pocket of his coat, revealing a shimmering red jewel. Dancing light swirls behind its glimmering face.
As the new head of the house, tonight you should stand proud in Rosario colors. In this gown, not only will you remain the center of attention, but you will have a distinct advantage of winning over the other nobles.
Okay, he said red jewel, not green. This is emerald. This is black. This is still pretty. Why is this not a diamond choice? Whatever. Pride of Rosario. Gemstone sparkles brightly as the magic swirls around your body, slowly forming into a beautiful gown. That will never get old. How do I look? Do you blush, Vasco? Vasco quickly turns his face from you and clears his throat.
Of course not. That would be most inappropriate.
but I do look suitable, and you're still blushing.
More than Julia, more than Annalise would be impressed. And I dare say perhaps a small bit jealous.
I only wish my sister was awake to see me. How will I know what to do without her?
It will be hard, but as with any dance, it begins with a single step. Only one that you can take.
You take a deep breath and remember that your sister is counting on you. I'm ready. Your servants take their places in the main hall as Vasco nods to the doorman. As his cue, they slowly pull back the large wooden doors, revealing a seemingly endless procession of nobles. Announcing High Chancellor and King Regent. The new king is here, but who? Lord Hunter of House Fierro. As Lord Hunter steps forward, you dip into a curtsy, finding it difficult to keep the surprise from your face. You're the king? For now, only Regent. Only after Kendra's will is read will my succession be official. I don't understand. If you're the prince, why the formality? Because I'm no prince either. Queen Kendra had no children. She chose me as her heir. I have no blood right to the throne. I think that blood rights are overrated. Imagine with you considering the purpose of tonight's events. If you were the Queen's choice, you must have been close to her. I worry the timing of my debut seems in ill taste. Not at all. Duty is important, especially when it's the most difficult to carry out. Kendra knew that better than anyone. And just then, an imposing man steps up behind Hunter and speaks to him quietly. Oh, hi there. My guards have finished their sweep of the grounds, no sign of trouble. Good. Miss Julie, have you met the Crown and Shield? No, we haven't. We have. Suddenly you recognize him as the man from the Masquerade. Sure, we'll go by default, Caden. Met is perhaps a strong word, though I'm pleased to make your acquaintance now. Glad to see you again. Thank you for receiving us tonight. It is my pleasure to host both you and your regency. Please call me Hunter, though it is good to know you know the ways of the court. You will need them tonight if your family hopes to become noble. Isn't this debut what makes our house noble? A debut is nothing more than the opportunity. You must use it to gain favor of each noble house. If they do not support you by the end of the night, House Rosario will remain common for at least a generation. No one told me. I don't know anything about the other houses. How can I impress them? I have no doubt you'll find a way, but for now I fear I must leave you. Many others await entry behind me. Oh, and Miss Julia? Yes? I hope you don't mind me saying, but in that dress, well, you look stunning this evening. Hunter raises his voice, and it becomes clear that he's now speaking for the room to hear, and not only you. I thank you and your staff for such a kind welcome, Miss Julie, and look forward to supporting your petition for nobility later this evening. With the support of the King Regent. Hunter smiles and winks at you playfully before walking past into the party with Caden, his protector. As he does, a man you hadn't noticed standing behind him steps forward.
I heard that Miss Annalisa met an unfortunate fate. It seems the stars punish those who forget their place.
Excuse me?
Why should I excuse one who disrespects her betters? His entire debut is a slap in the face of order and tradition.
If I apologize if I offended you somehow.
If that were true, you'd excuse your guests, cancel this event, and learn your rightful place in this world.
You can respond, the man sneers and walks past brusquely as a beautiful woman in an ornate gown steps forward into his place. My father, Lord Damien Ferrero, quite the charmer, isn't he? Ferrero, so you're Lord Hunter's sister? Twin sister, actually. Not identical, of course. Renza Fierro at your service. I apologize for my father. I did hear there were some at court who oppose House Rosario's petition to join the noble houses. Indeed there are, which is why Hunter told me you might need a friend tonight. That's very kind. But I don't want to inconvenience you. Helping to place a clever woman at court is not an inconvenience. It's an absolute dream. come true. Now let's talk strategy. My father and house are a lost cause, but there are 3 others you can still impress. Renza threads an arm under yours and turns you towards the door, where more nobles are being announced.
Presenting the Honourable Lord Percival, head of House Belmont and the champion of Tournament of Flowers.
That's Percy, the oh-so-serious head of Alba Belmont, who's an expert on law and lands. If you ask me, he's got a stick up his rear in, but I've yet to meet a lady or lord who's been close enough to confirm. Lady Renza. No time to be shocked and offended. Here comes the next noble on your list.
Announcing her ladyship, Theodosia Wright, for head of the house.
Not the one, the better one. The new girl's watching.
Announcing her ladyship, Theodosia rightfully head of the glorious, mighty, and notoriously, but in a good way, House Navarcus.
Hello, all of you darlings. Theodosia is finally here. The announcement draws little notice from the room. The one would try to impress a garden squirrel if it made eye contact for long enough. It sounds like, you don't hold her in high regard. To be fair, no one holds Theodosia in higher regard than she does. My advice, keep the compliments from with her. I've always found it easier daring something radical like actual conversation. Is that man coming in behind her the head of the final noble house? Sadly he is, and last and most certainly least,
Lord Cyrus of House Vescovy.
And Lord Pompadour, of course. The small, well-dressed dog cradled in Cyrus's arm springs to attention. Oh, you... How much do they feed you, seriously? Well, Cyrus scans the room until meeting your eyes and walks towards you without looking away. Miss Julia, to think such a radiant being was once covered by unflattering robes of a palace scribe. Indeed, Lord Pompadour, one may as well shroud the rosy dawn or throw boiling water at the freshly fallen snow. You speak as though we've met, my lord. But we have, don't you remember? We were aboard my private gondola. I was feeding you grapes as you caressed my... I am quite sure you are mistaken. Oh, silly me. Here I am confusing the future with the present again. Well, Cyrus, you're so kind. You have no idea how kind I can be, my little Petunia. Nor will she ever, should her luck hold. Renza reaches a hand to Cyrus's hair and ruffles it into a tangled mess. Cyrus removes a glittering comb from his pocket and responds, Difficulty keeping your hands to yourself, I see. I suppose none could blame you. Sapphire comb. Watch. Cyrus runs a magical comb through his hair with a single stroke, and his entire hairdo returns to its previous perfect state. Now, Lady Renza, you haven't abandoned your duties as keeper of the Royal Archives just to spend time with me, have you? Never fear, Lord Cyrus, I wouldn't abandon so much as a migraine to spend time with you. Lord Cyrus puckers his face into a forced smile, nods politely, and then walks back to the entrance where the rest of the guests have just arrived. You've now met all the players in our little game. Other than Hunter, what do you make of them? Honestly, they seem complicated. Like all the best families. No, that's false. Just then, Caden steps behind you. Miss Julia, a word in private, if you may, or I may. It is a matter of security. Sounds serious. Go, I shall find you later. He likes to come from behind in the shadows, I see. You join Caden outside far enough from the other guests to have a private conversation. What happened? I saw Lord Cyrus conspiring with Lord Damien's page. I fear they hold ill intent against your petition. But if Damien turns another noble house against me, I may not have the support I need. Then we must stop my half-brother's scheming before it's too late. Half-brother, don't tell me you're related to Cyrus. I'm a bastard, he is a noble, we share a father, but little else. For example, I would see House Rosario take its place among the nobility. Then you must be helping me because you have a strong sense of justice. I wouldn't be good at my job if I didn't. So you're helping me is just part of your job. People often have more than one reason for doing something. You should know that as someone hoping to join the court. I'm appreciative, regardless of your reasoning. He places a hand over his heart and nods to you. So what comes next? Nobles aren't known for speaking their intentions, but there are ways to get the truth. I'll show you how. Follow Caden back inside, where a quartet of musicians lift their instruments and begin to play. Nobles of the court pair off and mingle as Caden offers you his hand. You want to dance? I thought this was about finding the truth. In a moment, I'm going to begin telling you a dull story. Ignore it. Keep your eyes on mine, but focus your ears to those around us. Take Aiden's hand and walk with him to the center of the floor, where he positions you between two groups of chattering nobles. So there we were on the southern road, not the northern road, as had been recommended to us by the administrator of the... Caden continues his fake story. You follow his instructions and tune out his voice. Two groups of nobles are close enough to overhear. Worried nobles? Giggling nobles. Let's try the worried. Magical charms are one thing, but humans haven't had magic in 300 years. Lady Annalisa, those guards. No one has woken up. What else could have caused it but a sorcerer's spell? Nobles look around and notice you close by. They quickly lowers the volume of his voice. Soon their conversation is lost, and you hear Caden once again. You told the man no watch the back door while his fellow guards assumed a higher position along the... Giggling nobles. Fierce as a tiger he was. See? The red mark here across my shoulder? A gift from one of his claws. Oh, do you think I'm so gullible? 100 girls prettier than you have boasted of the same night with Lord Hunter. Huh? Suddenly you hear a more familiar voice farther away from you. It's Cyrus Vescovi standing near the dance floor, smiling and nodding at Caden's endless tale. You slowly dance closer. Careful not to draw his attention. Eavesdrop. Fine, on one condition. Lord Damon does not appreciate conditions. One item on a long list of things that the old badger does not appreciate, listed how to just between pancakes and intercourse, knowing him. I will denounce the girl, but only if I'm allowed to speak first. I might sow a doubt among the other nobles. But if the others support her before I can speak, I must follow their lead, lest I will make unnecessary enemies. Then I would advise, on behalf of my lord, that you find a way to speak first. Cyrus turns his back on the other man and promptly strides away. As he does, you notice Theodosia Naraka eyeing his rear end with a hungry gaze. Thank you for your help, Caden. If you'll excuse me, I believe I've just noticed an opportunity. Okay. Caden nods and excuses himself as you approach the head of House Navrakis, her longing eyes still locked to Lord Cyrus. Good evening, Lady Theodosia. Oh, I wasn't looking at anything. Theodosia jumps when you say her name, as if caught somewhere where she wasn't supposed to be, her hand accidentally slipping into the tray of a passing servant, and a goblet of wine pours down the front of her gown. Please let me help you with that. Impossible, my dress is ruined forever. Theodosia removes a delicately embroidered handkerchief from her dress and waves it casually in front of her gown. Scarlet handkerchief. You watch as the stain on Theodosia's dress magically disappears beneath the Naraka's house charm. You just said the dress was ruined, but there's no sign of the stain. Yes, but I know the stain was there, and isn't that just as bad as if you really think about it? I believe... You can't be sad you have a magic hanky. The beauty of your dress could not be dulled by 1,000 stains. Oh, you think so? Of course you do. Everyone is thinking it, so why would it be strange for someone to voice it aloud? It's not strange at all. Well, even if someone was to notice, they'd probably take it as a sign of some new fashion trend and seek to copy you at the first opportunity. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking too, even before you said it. The musicians finish their set, and Theodosia excuses herself a few minutes later. Hunter approaches you with Caden. Did I just see you spending time alone with Theodosia? And people say I'm brave. If I'm to become a noble, I will have to form a relationship with all of the court, Theodosia included. Well said, but part of being a noble is taking the time to indulge your own interests. In fact, Caden and I were just to do that. What Lord Hunter means is he wants me to stop shadowing him for a few minutes so we can have some privacy. I was thinking of visiting the Rosario private garden. I would welcome your company, Lady Julia, should you wish to join me. And what of your plans, Caden? I was hoping you'd grant me permission to explore the Rosario study. I didn't know you were a reader. Please explore to your wit's content. Thank you. If you have the time, I would enjoy a personal tour of your collection, should you be willing to grant one. Aiden bows and makes his way up to the ground staircase as Hunter smiles and walks out the doors leading outside. Join Hunter, Caden, or both for a private rendezvous in these exclusive scenes.
Let us join both on this fine day.
Leave to find Hunter. Discover him outside near the fountain, leaning over a small patch of ethereal white flowers with pointed petals. They're called the Queen of the Night. You're lucky to see them bloom. Is that so, Lady Rosario? I haven't lived at this estate since I was a girl. I wasn't even aware we had them until now. I recognize the petals from my studies in the library. It's a rare flower that only reveals itself beneath the mask of a dark night. It blooms for a few hours and then dies, never to show its petals again. That's rather sad, isn't it? I think that we can only truly appreciate things we know can't last forever. You have a nice way of thinking about the world. Do you think so? Hopefully you will share more of it with me in the days to come. And what do I get out of this arrangement? We shall have to think of something you want. Have I thanked you yet for coming to my debut? If you'd told me just 3 days ago that I'd be hosting the future king... The color drops from Hunter's face, matching the pale light of the moon above. Did I say something wrong? Not at all, it's just that 3 days ago I wasn't expecting to be king, at least not for a long while. Queen Kindra was somewhat like a mother to me. To think I should have... what I have because of what happened to her, it's almost unbearable. I couldn't protect her, nor your sister. Suddenly Hunter drops to one knee and looks up at you. Will you forgive me, Lady Rosario? Hunter... there is nothing to forgive. Hunter smiles at you and then stands. You are too kind. And you are too hard on yourself. Truth be known, at this moment, Queen Kindra would expect me to do what I have done, always done. Look to the future, not to the past. If I am to be king, I should be focusing on Cordonia and what she needs. Do you have any plans? Many, despite the circumstances that have brought me here. The role is one I have spent my life preparing for. There is so much good to be done, Julia. Of course, if my father had it his way, nothing would change. The only thing he'd celebrate after my ascension is his name on the throne. You don't get along with him? Hunter breaks into a spontaneous laugh, which he quickly contains. My father can be a difficult man, I'm sure. You'll learn firsthand before too long. And Renza, she seems supportive. Yes, I'm lucky to have my sister, and we're twins, you know. But one of us could be named the next head of the house, Fiero. If it was up to my father, and, well, she's been a good sport. When it comes to Renza, she knows you'll be a magnificent king, and so do I. Do you really think so? We haven't known each other for long, but there's something about you, something good, I see it. I see that Kindra saw it too. As for Renza, only a tyrant would seek personal power when the country had already been promised a wise and kind leader. Perhaps you're right. Enough about me becoming king. Tonight is about you, Lady Rosario, noble of Cordonia Court. Are you excited? I am wary of the other nobles. At the library, the worst I had to worry about was my mentor, Canna, and his ruler's magnetic attraction to my knuckles. Some of the nobles seem somewhat less straightforward than him. Ah, then for the sake of your safety, I shall simply have to keep you by my side. And would I not be a burden to a future king with all my dull scribe ways? There is little more I wish as a king than to see new ideas and fresh vision within the court and the country. You will be a source for both. There's little new here. I've thrown a party, worn a gown, and hoped to be called a lady before the night is through, and anyone else would dream for that. But your dreams become real. You make them real. Do you realize how rare a talent that is? Destiny told you who and what you were supposed to be, and you said no. Maybe you can't see it yet, but there's something special about you, Julia Rosario. Hunter carefully reaches for your hands and takes them into his own. I hope that we can see more of each other. Don't worry, I'm sure the book will tell me to. I'd like that. We should return to the ballroom. I'm sure I'll see you later. As Hunter departs the garden, you consider where to go next. You leave to find Caden. Discover him upstairs in the study reading the spines of your family's book collection. Anything interesting? Could be, but I wouldn't know. I don't recognize any of these titles. Really? There's nothing exotic here? You take your time working at the palace library for granted. Most people don't have access to books at all, let alone a familiarity with them. What have you read then? This and that. History, some fiction, stories of old kings, queens, tales of men and women who turned into dragons. Step into the shelf that Caden is inspecting and note a few of the tomes standing there. This one is a scathing satire of the upper classes. Next to it, a book on modern culinary practice, and here, well, one of my sister's most adventurous romantic fictions. Caden looks to you with an eyebrow cocked. I think you'd appreciate the satire. Here. You hand Caden the book, and he quickly thumbs through the pages. Interesting. That's it. I thought you might be intrigued by someone else sharing your perspective. My opinions aren't made stronger or weaker because they happen to be aligned with someone else's. But I'll admit, it's nice to know you're not alone in the world. Caden offers you back the book. Keep it. Consider it a gift, I insist. I couldn't. Where would I even keep it? I don't have a shelf, let alone a study. I find that under one's pillow is an ideal location. Thank you. One should not turn down a gift. My thoughts exactly. Suddenly you notice a large, red, leather-bound work entitled The Ductorian Wars. Surely you must know this one. Queen Kenna plays a central role in these tales. Kendra's ancestor. Ah, that's right. Kendra. Okay. Did you know her well? Queen Kendra, I mean. I did. Caden. The Queen's death was not your fault. I know that. One guard, even the commander, cannot be everywhere at once. I trusted my agents to protect her as I worked the masquerade that night, much as I trust my agents to protect Hunter as we speak here in your study. I didn't know you had others with you. Always, just because someone slipped the net that night, doesn't mean the net did not hang. Whoever killed Kendra was talented. He knew how to get her to her. Someday soon, I'll know how to get to him. May I ask you something else, Cyrus? Is he the only family you have? Other than my guards, and most of them I hold in higher regard, all of them I hold in higher regard. It must be difficult to have such a contentious relationship with your brother. Half. Half-brother, yes, I'll remember next time. You and Annalise are different, but even I could see the care between you. It is something I wish I had. Perhaps you can find that closeness with someone else. That's not something I have to thought possible. Thought as in past tense? A slip of the tongue. I'm sorry to hear of your troubles with Cyrus, all the same. Your sister sleeps under this roof after I failed to keep her safe, and you would apologize to me. Lady, we can leave it at Julia. Julia, you're far too kind for the pit of vipers you're leaping into. And will you hold it against me when I finish my leap and slither among them? Of course not. You're helping your sister. It's not selfishness that brought you here, but bravery. You speak as though I'm not afraid. My sister is yet to wake, Lord Cyrus plots against me, and I'm here in the home of my childhood, pretending to be something I was never born for. Bravery isn't the absence of fear, Julia. It's the way in which you face the fear that visits us all. I've seen soldiers cower, flee from a winning battle. I've seen a single fighter draw her sword against 10 foes. I know what bravery is, and what it isn't, and what you're doing is brave. Step forward and place your arms around Caden. After a short delay, he slowly raises his hand to your back. Caden's embrace is careful, but you can feel the incredible strength he's restraining. After a long moment in his arms, you step back and smile at him. I should return to my duties downstairs. Thank you for the book. It is the first I've owned for myself. Caden tucks your gift into his jacket and makes his way back downstairs into the ballroom. As you step back into the ballroom, Rinza appears and takes your arm. I've noticed you haven't spent time with Percival yet. Come, let us fix that. Rinza walks you away from the main parlor, or hall to the parlor, where you find Lord Percival. He steps past the other lords and ladies as you approach. Lord Percival, it's lovely to see you, of course. May I present Lady Julia Rosario? A pleasure to meet you. This is a solid constructed building, Miss Rosario. You should be proud of your craftsmen. Right. Anyway, Percival, Lady Julia was just telling me some of her fascinating opinions on the discrepancies in Cordonian property law. I was, discrepancies. They are an issue in many, laws. Everyone else here seems determined to speak of nothing but rumors and courtly intrigue. Finally a chance for some exciting conversation. Think, Julia, think. I must have read something about this at the library. Lord Percival, did you know that a war begins with an apple tree, soil yield and proportional is about the nutrients? Someone is calling for you to the crossroad. Soil yield. Pardon my own ignorance, Lady Julia, but I do not follow. It's the law of soil's properties, so... property law? I see. If you'll both excuse me, I have some important matters to attend to. Percival smiles at you politely and leaves. That could have gone better. Not to worry. We have our own important matters. I think it's time for the King Regent to make House Rosario one of us officially. I hope I've done enough. Don't doubt yourself, darling. It doesn't look good on you. It's only that if I don't become a noble tonight, then... Don't you dare finish that sentence. You are a powerful, intelligent firebrand, and tonight is going to go exactly as you hope. Trust me, all right? We'll have a drink together and calm your nerves. Now, what's your poison? I don't know. Rose water, honey mead, red wine. Red wine, why not? Rinza disappears from the room and returns a few minutes later with Hunter, Caden, and 2 silver chalices. Silver. She hands one of them glasses to you, keeping the other for herself. Look who I found wandering around like lost puppies. Listen to that, Caden. She likens us to dogs and elects us to offer us a drink. I'm not sure which is worse. Lady Julia has earned her glass, which is more than I can say for you. You shirk your duties, brother. Ah, how could I forget? Lady Julia, it's time to present you to court. Are you ready? Ready to hear what nobility truly thinks of me? I care more about your thoughts. Would hear Caden's full opinion. Doubt the opinion of nobles ever speak their true mind about anything. True words never spoken. You see, brother, this is precisely why Julia needs to be at court. You'll hear no argument from me. And what would you say, Caden? I don't have a say, Lady Ferrero. I'm here to serve the regent and not interfere in politics. That settles it then. You join Hunter in the foyer as he gathers the noble's attention. Friends, we have been gathered here by the gracious host, Julia Rosario, who asks for her house to join us at court as an equal. Oh, she asks, does she? If it's that easy to gain a title, perhaps I should ask Lord Pomperdos to become official. Lord Cyrus, I must insist that you let your true opinions be heard. Gladly. Miss Julia, you are truly a vision of beauty, grace, and unadulterated physical appeal. However, you are a vision of corruption, one that would allow common blood to taint the noble court. Ah! Indeed, Pompadour. Though it pains me to know that it means nothing less of you, we cannot support your petition.
Lord Cyrus makes a good point, one we should all consider.
And what of the other whole noble houses? Where do you rest? Where the rest of you stand? House Belmont will not interject. Something, I guess. I say Lady Julia is just wonderful, and coming from someone like me, I say that's something Indeed it is. I look forward to joining you at court, Lady Theosa. The noble houses have spoken. As King Regent, I fully support. Just then, Damon stepped forward from the gathered crowd.
Enough! The women come for you and hers. You needn't make this into one noble just to coax her into your bed.
That is uncalled for. I demand you apologize to Miss Julia at once. Damon closes his mouth and crosses his arms. Lord Damon, I will not dignify such provocations with a response.
As if a commoner could dignify anything.
Enough, Father! House Raffaello will not support Rosario, but we will not stand alone at court. And I and some of the court stand by her. The others simply do not know her well enough yet.
Some of the court outtailing.
Enough. The crown officially recognizes Julia Rosario, head of the House Rosario, and as full and rightful her noble house. You got a lukewarm support of the great houses. Thank you all to have supported our house, from me and my sister, Annalisa. The crowd of nobles applaud as Vasco leans forward to your ear.
Well done, Lady Julia.
I see this calls for celebration. Last time you suggested the nobles celebrate, half the men in court woke up in the others' half's trousers. How funny! I don't remember that at all. Considering the state you were in, no, you wouldn't. Now that you're one of us, Lady Julia, it won't be the same if you're not there. I do hope you'll come. But, Renzo excitedly summons Vasco to the group with a wave and a grin. We'll need 10 bottles of wine, a deck of playing cards, the largest goblet in the estate, and as many pillows as the staff can carry.
I am more than pleased to accommodate such an creative request, your ladyship, should the Lady of Rosario approve.
You've seen how the nobles act at parties, Julia. Now's the time to see how they act after parties. Join Hunter, Caden, Renzo, and the other nobles for a legendary after party at your estate in this exclusive scene. I mean, I guess. Let's do this. Oh, I knew there was a reason I had a good feeling about you.
Very good, your ladyship. I shall prepare a space for Lady Renzo's unique specifications.
A short while later, Vasco leads you and the other nobles to the estate wine cellar, a ring of tasseled pillows, one of each person, circle of pyramid of wine bottles. 10 bottles of wine for 7 people. Do you think we should have asked for more? Like that's 6 people. I'm only here to accompany the King Regent. Oh, no, you don't. The only thing worse than becoming an embarrassingly drunk at a party is being watched by someone sober. Consider it a royal decree. Caden is hereby ordered to have fun like the rest of us. It is an unprecedented ruling, but as the regent... Enough chatter. Is someone gonna pour the wine? I feel absolutely naked without a glass. And how long must we keep you without a glass before you're actually naked? Asking for a friend. Everyone will have their fill of wine soon, because tonight we're playing Queen's Cup. Renzo reveals a deck of cards and places them face down in a large ring around the wine. If you don't know how to play, don't fret, it's simple. You can learn as we go along. I'll begin. Renzo pulls a card from the ring and reveals it to the group, the 3 of apples. 3 means me. That means I have to drink. Renzo grabs a bottle of wine and takes a deep swig. Then gestures for you to draw from the ring next to you. Grab a card. 7 of swords. What does a 7 mean? Oh, nothing. Yet. The 7 means heaven. The first 2 people to draw 7 have to lock themselves in that wine cabinet together. What? Now we wait and see who draws the other 7 to find out who your partner will be. Got it? Great, moving on. Wait. Oh, me next. Which do you think I should draw, Lord Pompadour? Pompadour begins to sniff at the nearby card. Cyrus grabs it. Pompadour, you scoundrel! It's a 7. No way. The Queen of Apples. Haha, just kidding. You wish it was a 7. Actually, it's a queen. That means I get to make a rule that everyone must follow for the rest of the game. Now let's see. I hereby decree that anytime you say someone else's name, you must also exclaim what you find most sexy about them. Also, no cheating by saying their courage or kindness or anything boring like that. It must be physical. Oh, what an excellent rule, Lord Cyrus. Whoops, I'm already gone and triggered it. Your thighs. Now, each time a queen is drawn, the player must empty their bottle into the giant cup at the middle. Whoever draws the final queen will need to drink the whole thing. At least we're safe for now. Hunter reaches for a card and then reveals it to the room, the 4 of hearts. As he puts it down, he quickly drops his hands to the ground. You quickly open your hands and place them on the floor as everyone else rushes to do the same. Excellent reflexes, Lady Julia. I may have had to drink for being last, but you, Regent, just spoke someone else's name. Very well. I suppose I must follow the law as anyone else. What I find most sexy about Lady Juliana is a smile. Really? I've never known the Regent to play it safe when it comes to complimenting women. I speak only the truth, as I wish commanded. Now, let's continue. It's his turn next. If I must. Ken draws a card and reveals it to the group. The Queen of Hearts. Procedure dictates that you must pour the remainder of your bottle into the cup. That's 2 queens down. And you must make a rule. Well, then let there be no more titles. Anyone heard using Lord or Lady for the remainder of the game is in violation. Yes, I didn't think it was as good as a rule either, Lord Pompadour. And you just used a title, drink. But... And more importantly, you just said a name. That doesn't count. Cyrus said the name, so let's hear it. What's the sexiest thing about your dog? He's right. You can't weasel your way out of your own law. Fine. The sexy thing about him is, I suppose, his fluff. Thank you for sharing your opinion with us. How very enlightening. Indeed. Me next, me next! Theodosia draws a card and shows it to the group. The King of Apples. The kings means sing. Theodosia begins, and everyone must add a rhyming line to the song. If no one messes it up, Theodosia has to drink. She takes a long drink, then slowly stands to her feet, wobbling slightly. She clears her throat dramatically. There once was a lady named Cleodosia who ate the finest fruit. Until one day it was discovered Cleodosia was a lady of ill repute. She begs your pardon. But while some shied away, a lord came to stay with a strong appreciation for their attribute. Theodosia saw the lord watching from afar and soon understood he was in pursuit. She wanted his attention, thought of how to tempt him, and gifted the lord a royal repute. Loot? Excellent. Now the crown shield. The royal lute was a well-tuned lute. What? Well-tuned lute rhymes with lute. They have the same final syllable. Legally speaking, the crown shield makes a strong case. Nice tie now. Drink. The game continues around in the circle, and soon 4 bottles are empty and 3 queens have been drawn. Oh, there's still so many cards left. There's only one thing to do about that. Hunter draws from the ring and his face goes red. It's a 7. I guess we hadn't seen another one yet. And you know what that means. Before you can respond, the group quickly ushers you and Hunter into the large, empty wine cabinet. You hear the faint click of sliding a lock. Oh, this is interesting. I'm guessing this isn't how you imagine your debut ending. No, but I'm happy I was wrong. Happy to be in prison within the furniture. It's more about the company than the scenery. I couldn't have said it better myself. Suddenly you hear a voice from the other side of the door. Oh no, it seems my mischievous pop is running underneath the wine cabinet. I suppose I have no choice but to lift its end and look for him. He wouldn't. Suddenly, one side of the wine cabinet raises up, and you tumble into Hunter into the dark. Reach for Hunter's body as you fall. He catches you by the waist before you lose your balance. You reflexively move your hands to his as the wine cabinet finally rights itself. His hands linger there beneath your touch for a moment, more than needed to keep you upright. Are you alright? I should go drinking with your sister more often. I'll take that as a yes. It sounds like Cyrus knocked the lock loose when he shook the wine cabinet. And perhaps we should rejoin the game. Hunter opens the door and helps you out just as Rinza draws the final next card, the final queen. Every time we play, I always seem to draw the final queen. It's almost as if you set up the cards and knew where it was. Rinza pours the rest of her bottle into the giant cup at the center of the circle, Jesus, and then drinks from the cup. That is a lot of wine for one person to drink at once. Is she going to be okay? Never fear, Rinza's a professional. She'd never... maybe that wasn't such a good idea after all. Come with me, let's get you some air. Rinza nods and wraps her arm around your shoulder as you lead her out of the front of the estate. Sit Rinza down on the edge of the fountain. The color has all but drained from her face. The state of you. What were you thinking? But you had fun, right? That's all I wanted to do. I would have had fun without someone practically getting poisoned. It's not that bad. Rinza takes a deep breath, fixes up her hair by the fountain's reflection, and places a friendly hand on the side of your arm. Thank you for having courage to follow through with his debut. I know we don't always make it easy. As nobles, we're practically defined by who we exclude. If everyone was allowed a title, the title wouldn't mean anything. Then again, our birthright doesn't always mean that we think it does, anyway. Sorry, I tend to ramble when I drink, and I drank quite a bit. You're not rambling. What do you mean about birthrights? It's just that my father is retiring soon, this social season in fact. When he does, Hunter will take his place, while I take nothing. Hunter is my twin. Either of us could have been chosen, but there could only be one head of the House Frero, one king. You talked to Hunter about it. Why would I? I don't want to take anything from him. I love him. He's wonderful, and he'll do wonderful things on the throne. Rinza, your father should have let the two of you decide. In a way, I'm glad he didn't. I couldn't fight with Hunter over something like this. He wouldn't want to fight with you either. Sometimes fate is just a funny thing. There are no right answers, no justice, no injustice, just problems without solutions. Sorry, I tend to get philosophical when I drink, and I drank quite a lot. Yeah, you said that 3 times now. Maybe we should call it a night. Rinza stands and smooths out her dress. I'm ready. The two of you make your way back inside, where you